Despite being unknown to much of the world outside of North America, the Canadian automotive industry has been responsible for producing some incredible heavy-duty vehicles. In this country, they have manufactured highly impressive load-carrying machines that, for those who are familiar with them, can be considered among the best trucks in the world in terms of strength and transport capacity. The clear representative of these attributes is undoubtedly the Hayes brand, established in Vancouver. With a history spanning decades of hard work in the development of high-capacity vehicles, this company quickly established and grew, thanks to its focus on building purely off-road units capable of facing the challenges present on Canadian forest roads. The history of this iconic Canadian company began in 1920 when Douglas Hayes, along with his partner W. Anderson, started developing a worthy rival for the extremely demanding conditions of the forestry industry. Although originally the company was known as Hayes Anderson Motor Company, it adopted its iconic name, Hayes Manufacturing Company, in 1928, after 8 years of hard work and effort in truck development. This change coincided with the opening of their first mass production factory, where they were able to focus on building rugged trucks. They also began designing and manufacturing other types of vehicles, such as buses, vans, and trailers. Notably, they produced a bus version called the Teardrop, which featured innovative aerodynamics for its time and is currently preserved by the Transit Museum Society. Over the following years, between the 1930s and 1940s, Hayes gained a strong reputation locally, primarily due to the introduction of trucks designed for the forestry industry. However, it wasn't until the 1950s, with the launch of their extra heavy-duty model lines and an even larger and heavier version known as the Wide Extra Heavy Duty, that the brand truly solidified itself as one of North America's most iconic names in heavy-duty vehicles. These trucks were designed as true workhorses, intended for the transportation of large volumes of timber and oversized loads. In the case of the extra heavy-duty division, these trucks could be equipped with a range of engines, including some of the most powerful units available in North America. Although it was more common to see them with Cummins engines, Hayes trucks also featured Detroit V16 engines with power ratings ranging from 600 to 700 horsepower. The photographs speak for themselves, as these units could carry up to 136 tons of timber, reaching total weights of around 200 tons. It is essential to remember that all of this occurred on the winding and challenging roads of the Canadian forests. Therefore, all the credit cannot be attributed solely to the powerful engines, but also to all the mechanical components involved. In order to perform such incredible feats, they required a system that could efficiently cool the brakes, because transporting more than 100 tons is not an easy task. To achieve this, a water cooling mechanism was employed, with each WHDX truck having a tank of up to 150 liters solely for this purpose. Additionally, the company offered a customization plan that turned each truck into a unique vehicle. Customers could select and configure up to 100 different internal components. If you've reached this point in the video and enjoyed it, we would greatly appreciate it if you consider subscribing to the channel. The WHDX models have a unique story. Although we've mentioned that the Canadian brand is not particularly recognized in Europe, these Canadian giants did make their way to the old continent. More specifically, the Spanish company Arbegy, specializing in the transport of indivisible loads, imported these trucks in 1975. They were equipped with Cummins VTA 1720 engines with 700 horsepower, paired with 9-speed automatic transmissions. The goal of these units in the Spanish fleet was to be used as a last resort only for truly extreme tasks, which reflects their potential and robustness. An example of this was a transport task for a 340-ton load covering a distance of 57 kilometers, which was carried out by a convoy of WHDX trucks in a total of 3 days. Even though they were nearly 50 years old, these trucks are still in operation, underscoring their reputation for durability. One of the best ways to demonstrate the qualities is through remarkable achievements, and in this regard, Hayes has been able to show why it has an unparalleled reputation for durability and resilience. In the distant year of 1958, the company accomplished one of the most incredible transports of the time, involving the overland movement of a fir log with an astonishing length of 76 meters, destined for the Royal Botanic Gardens at Kew in England. To put proportions of this operation into context, today's longest transports are attributed to the transportation of wind turbine blades. The total length of these indivisible pieces reaches meters, just meters more than the transport carried out by Hayes in the 1950s. Achieving this operation was quite a challenge, because to transport the enormous logs safely, it was necessary to coordinate 2 Hayes trucks. These trucks were first loaded with standard length logs to create an improvised platform that could clear the height of the truck cabins. Subsequently, the log was placed at each end of one truck, tens of meters apart, requiring extreme skill and concentration from the drivers. The journey covered 32 kilometers of narrow roads, with just 60 centimeters of clearance on either side of the trucks. Although a minimal mistake could have caused both vehicles to fall off a cliff, the transport was successful and safe, taking a relatively decent time of approximately 2 hours and 15 minutes. Finally, the log was transported by ship to Great Britain and served there as the world's largest flagpole until it was unfortunately removed in 2007 due to wood deterioration. While Hayes remained 100% Canadian for several decades, in 1968 the company underwent another major change. Coming under the ownership of the American company Mack, it made an immense leap in its vehicle production, achieving sales that were 10 times higher. Unfortunately, this period of prosperity lasted only 7 years, as after being acquired by Packard, it was forced to close its factories permanently in 1975. Although over the years all that remains of this brand is its reputation for the durability and toughness of its trucks, it's important to emphasize its historical value and everything it contributed to both the Canadian automotive industry and the heavy transportation sector worldwide. Its legacy managed to endure and even serve as inspiration for other iconic brands like Pacific Trucks, making Hayes a source of Canadian pride. Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it and want more similar content, please subscribe to our channel. We also invite you to visit our secondary channel, Gear Unlimited, where you'll find a wide variety of topics. We appreciate your support and interest. Keep on trucking and stay tuned for more.